This video will show you how to replace the front window regulator with motor assembly on a Toyota Matrix. This will be located inside of your front door. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Now looking at the window, you can tell that I'm approximately 3 inches up here. Now with that said, we can make our way to the inside of the door so we can start removing our inside door panel. We're going to have to remove the door panel. To do that, let's start up along this area. You're going to find that you have a small plastic panel here. I'm using a plastic trim tool to dislodge this. I want to be careful around my paint. Just a quick inspection of that panel and we'll set it aside. Now we're looking behind the inside door handle next. Looking in here, you can see a small plastic trap door. I'm using an angled pick. We'll carefully start dislodging that. Looking behind that, you have a Phillips head screw. Go ahead and remove it. Continuing on, we're making our way towards our grab handle. Looking in this area, we should have a Phillips head screw. Ours is rusted and rotted. I'm just going to go ahead and drill this out. That hardware is out of place. We can take hold of this. We'll remove it. Now, as we continue on removing the door panel, be aware we do have a wiring harness leading behind the switches and, of course, some cables behind this area. Let's start removing the panel. For this, you're going to find that you have some locking press clips that press from the door panel into the door itself. If you carefully make your way around the door panel, you're going to find that there are notches that you can easily grab onto, either by hand or using a plastic trim tool. We'll gently start prying this away, paying attention behind there for those wires and cables. Let's focus on that wiring harness leading to our window switch. For this, it has a locking tab. It's actually on the underside. You could turn the door panel over or just reach along the outer corner here. I'm going to try to squeeze this in and we'll try to rock this out of place. It's usually pretty tight. There we are. Right here's where we can see that locking tab I was squeezing on. Now, since we do have to remove the vapor barrier, to get to the window regulator, we're also going to make our way down to our speaker electrical connector. This has a locking tab right here. Let's go ahead and squeeze that and lift this up and out of place. A quick inspection for corrosion, of course. This is looking good. We can rest this aside. Now that we have the door panel out of the way, let's remove our bracket from the center area here. It's held in place with two 10mm headed mounting bolts. Slide that off of there. Just a quick inspection of that bracket, make sure it's not rotted, and it is reusable, and we'll set it aside. Now as we start pulling away on the vapor barrier, we're being aware of the butyl tape. I'm using a plastic trim tool so we can carefully start removing this from the door. That side's looking good. Start making our way towards the speaker next here. Now as I start pulling this up, I like to have my electrical connectors through the port in the vapor barrier here. We're going to have to gain access to our electrical connector for the window switch. Just go ahead and press that right through its port. We'll roll this up and out of our way here. Now looking all the way down near this large port, we have to remove this shield. It's held in place with 3 Phillips head mounting screws. We'll hold the shield as we continue on to the last screw up along the top there. Go ahead and remove that protective shield. We'll set it aside. With the panel out of the way, we have a clear view inside of this area. Now what we're looking for is our window glass and our window regulator. you're going to find that you have a 10mm headed mounting bolt holding the glass in place. You can see one out in the open here, and the other one's going to be located inside of this oval port right here. This one's a little bit harder to see. Now, if for some reason it's not aligned where you can gain access to that bolt, reconnect your window switch, turn on key power, and carefully adjust the height of the window. Just make sure you have nothing inside this area that might get damaged or even hurt. So let's start removing our 10mm headed mounting bolts. For this one, so I don't drop it, I have a magnet handy. Just want to make sure it did not fall off inside the door. Now we have both pieces of hardware out of there. This side's going to be the easiest to see, so I'm going to show you what has to happen next. We're carefully reaching inside this area, being aware of any pinch points. I'm pushing in on the window regulator and lifting up on the window. You can see that it needs to separate. This is the easy side to do. Now I'm just going to go over to the other side, repeat this process, and we're going to lift the entire window glass up and out of the door. Now as we start bringing this up, I'm coming on this upper corner. We'll just start bringing this up and out of the door. We'll carefully set this aside. With the window glass out of the way, we're focusing on the regulator and the motor next. Now for the motor, it will have an electrical connector, so we have to disconnect that. It has a locking tab. I'm just going to go ahead and press that in. I'm using a pocket screwdriver. We'll pull this out of place. Of course, a quick inspection for corrosion. This looks good. We have 4 bolts along this area, but we also have 2 bolts over this way. We're going to start with these 2 and make our way back for these 4. Now as we make our way over here, we can see that this mounting bolt has a larger port just above it. For this bolt, we'll loosen it, but leave it in just a couple threads, remove all others. We should be able to take hold of the window regulator from inside of the door. We'll maneuver it as necessary to make its way to this port, slide it in, and then pull it out through this area. After that, we can remove that bolt. There it is, friend. On the original regulator, we can remove that one mounting bolt that we left in a couple threads, and we'll transfer it over to the same spot on the brand new window regulator. We're starting it in just a couple threads, leaving it loose. Now let's get ready to install our window regulator with motor assembly. We're going to carefully bring it in through this lower port. Once we have it in there, we're going to make sure that we have our bolt aligned with this area here, and we have our wiring harness electrical connector in this port right along here. Let's bring that electrical connector up and through. I'm going to carefully reach inside this area. I'm bringing it through its port as I continue on. It's time for that mounting bolt. At this point, we'll continue on to starting in all other pieces of hardware prior to tightening any of them. Now on our window regulator, we have the shorter crossbar that's going to go up in this area. You can see exactly where each one of the 2 mounting bolts needs to sit. As I mentioned, we are leaving these loose. Let's continue on to the other 3 mounting bolts in this area here. Reach inside, we can make our adjustments. They're all started in, let's snug them up. We'll just double check to make sure that's properly secured in place. The next thing we have to do is reinsert our window glass. Now as for this, before I start bringing it down, have a quick look inside the door. Along either side of the door where the window is, you're going to have a window channel. We need to make sure the glass is sitting inside the channel along each side of the door as we continue on sliding it all the way down to its lower mounting point. Now we have our glass coming down. We're being as careful as possible. We're trying to align the window glass with its channel on each side as we continue on bringing it down. If it doesn't look like it's aligned on either side, just carefully lift it up, realign, and then continue sliding it down. We're aligning this with the window regulator next down at the bottom. We'll just press on that window regulator. It should want to sit in position. This side looks good. I'm going to double check the other side. I'm being aware of pinch points. After that, we can start in both bolts and snug them up. We're starting in each one of the bolts here. Double check to make sure it's properly secured. You do not want to have any loose hardware in this area. Now it's time for our metal protective shield in this area. We'll make sure we have it in the proper orientation. One bolt up along the top. Just go ahead and align it. We're going to start in all pieces of hardware before tightening. They're all started in, let's snug them up. Keep in mind you are only screwing into plastic, try not to strip these. Now let's connect our window motor electrical connector. We're going to align our locking tab areas here, press them together. Audible click, a light tug confirming they're secured in place. Now, since we know that our electrical wiring harness is longer than the original, let's make sure we take hold of that, and we're going to pull as much of it as possible out from inside the door so it doesn't get bound up on anything. We'll make sure we pull it down into an area where we can use tape or a wire tie, and we're going to hold this slack in a position where it's not going to get caught on anything. Now, one last quick inspection in this area, and we'll continue on with carefully bringing down our vapor barrier. As we bring this down, we need to make sure that our electrical connectors and wiring harnesses make their way through their corresponding port. You can see my port here. Continuing on, we're going to align the vapor barrier in the corresponding area and press it up against the door. You can start pretty much anywhere you want. Let's just try to align this in the original positioning. Now we have our metal bracket. Let's make sure we have it in the proper placement. The screws will go into these yellow squares. Go ahead and start in each one of the two mounting bolts, and then we'll snug them up. Now it's time for our door speaker electrical connector. Just go ahead and line it up in its corresponding area. We'll press that in. That feels Feels good. Let's reconnect our electrical connector for our window switch. Press it in, we'll listen for a click from that. Double check, make sure it's secured. Let's get ready to install the door panel. As far as the door panel, we need to start up along the top. It has this lipped area that's going to go over this portion of the door. Once we have that in place, we're going to start swinging the door panel over. We have several plastic clips making their way around that fit into their corresponding ports on the door itself. That's what's going to lock this in. Nice and high. Once you have the top pressed into place, we can see where all of our clips are aligned here. We'll just go ahead and tap this into position. Take hold of the panel in comparison to the door. We're going to give it a wiggle. It should not slide out of place. We'll continue on with our grab handle and the mounting hardware. We'll make sure we have the grab handle in the proper orientation so it slides straight down into the door panel. We have our mounting screw, using our Phillips head to tighten this up. Just double check to make sure that's secured. We're making our way up to the inside door handle next. We have our Phillips head screw for up here as well. We'll protect the area. Now it's time for the upper corner piece. Having a look at this, we can see that we do have a small hooked area along the bottom, and up at the top is where the mounting point would be. So we're just going to start with the bottom. We're lining this up, press it in. After an audible click, we'll just make sure that's secured in place. Okay, friend, we finished the installation of our part. Now the next thing we have to do is put the key in the on position, and we're going to test the functionality. For this, we're using our window switch. We'll make sure it goes down and all the way up as it should. Perfect. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.